Hello and welcome back to India for race 2 here of Formula Challenge. Apologies for the stream issues. Unfortunately, we had a few issues, so we had to restart it. But we are back now, and we should be good for race 2. The warm-up session there, only 3 people set in times: Mitchell, Van der Waal, and Koivunen. So I suppose can't really read too much into that. But race 2 should be a good one. Should be a good one, shouldn't it, Rodrigo?
Yeah, very interesting how the TSS of guys can handle, because the reverse grid is P15, guys, P15. So there is Andre and Jake Daniel will start way back compared to before, and they will need to handle a lot of guys in front of him. So we'll be very interested to see how TSS off can handle that, and especially not just 10, but also the guys in front of 10, that is Isaac Morris, Aiden Faber, Mike Quint. That is the quickest guys on the grid today. But also, let's see if people fix the engine thing, that annoying smoke we see all the time. Because, at least for me, if I was driving right now, Josh, I was very annoyed to see the smoke coming off my face. But let's see if nothing will happen, because if I remember, a guy have a blow engine in the end, so a very risky one using engine this way. But let's see what
exactly. Yeah.
But let's see what will happen or not. And a lucky guy we see start from the pole is Ben Willis. So let's see what Ben Willis can do it in this race too, because start from the pole is different from start from the back of the grid. So.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting thing though with that the engine situation, for the people that had smoking engines for the whole race but still finished, got to think maybe they say that has a bit of an advantage. As long as they make it to the end, then really they are blind to their competitors. And no rule really against that. So maybe they see it as a bit of an advantage and or run it again. As the temperature is the same for race 2. Actually, the ambient is 1 degree lower. So just have to see what happens there. We've got quite a long wait here at the end of the warm-up session. I don't believe anyone. No, everyone does still seem to be here. Say that actually 2 people have not made it. Only 30 drivers for this race 2, fortunately. We'll just have to see who it is that lost out, which can't quite tell at the moment.
It's a pity that, but looks like one of these guys is. See the list of the guys. Looks like it's raining. Raining from the Polish team, FPS. He's not on the server as I see it, and the other guy, I don't have a clue. I don't know who he is for now. But the race will start. Race 2. The guys is already used it with the track after this race 1. They already know what they can expect it, and let's see how it will be this race 2. I'm very curious to see what will happen on the mid of the grid, especially with the leader of the championship, Darius Andre, starting P15.
Exactly. Yeah. Drivers heading on to formation lap now. So this time, hopefully you can do the full formation lap. So go away with it.
No problems. So let's just wait for the.
Yeah, I believe we're having a few issues. There we go.
Okay, so round 4, race 2, guys, Indian Grand Prix. So the pole position this time is Ben Williams from Alpha Sierra, Mateusz Guzolski from Turner Duck in P2, and the P3 will be by Walter De Bruyne from Academy Team and Marceliano Rirboli from P4. Tuomala is P5 this time. Tom Parker is at P6, with the Luke Mitchell from Downforce in P7, and Jack Nichols from Kings Racing makes the P8. Top 10 is finished by Scott Mitchell from Kings Racing and Fabian Huit from Team Frelik. Very interesting position from Huit. Isaac Morris make the 11th place, with Mike Quinton P12, Faber P13, Danahan P14, and Darius Andre, the leader of the championship, finish on the top 15. So P16 will be Guilherme Mas from Team Frelik, Mike Bell P17, with Andre Warren in P18, Steven Schreider for Alpha Sierra, Alpha Delta in P19, and Tom van der Voort for Alpha Sierra makes the top 20. Guillaume Brenton, the Dutch driver in P21, with Bruno Souza Ferreira in P22, his teammate Van der Weide in P23, and Dylan Platt in P24. A bad race from Dylan Platt on the last lap. P25 is Sandak, Marvin in P26, Sonneville in P27, and Jeff Close in P28. And the last guys is Kate, the female driver Caitlin Penn in P29, and Tommy Koivunen from Scuderia Craigilly in P30, the last place in the grid. So 30 cars for this time, for this race 2. Let's see what will happen, Josh.
Yeah, should be an interesting one. Just so I'll point out, because I'm sure the team owner wouldn't be happy with you, it is Scuderia Cap Clay for this year. Just to avoid any messages there. But yeah, Ben Willis on pole. Obviously, I believe that was his first points of the season in race 1 there. So this is a golden opportunity really for him to gain some more. Obviously, it'll be difficult for him to hold on to the lead, but he will be eyeing up points no matter what. Yeah. For a lot of these guys, it's quite new people at the front. So good chance for all of them.
Yeah, I miss a underdog in the front row.
Yeah, as the lights are now on, 5 lights, and we are go in India for race 2. Ben Willis with an amazing start, but Guzowski not a good start there from P2. Walter de Bruyne has got him, and Michael Tumala is looking around the outside there at turn 1. Do you make it through just about cleanly? Tumala off the track. There's a lot of issues happening behind there. We'll just have to wait and see what happens after all that. There's a big crash, I believe, further back. And Matthew Sandak is already out of the race. A lot of people move in their positions. It's quite difficult to keep up with at the moment. But looking down the straight, everyone at the front seems to be relatively in a line. Isaac Morris has already jumped up to P5 here. Now battling Jack Nicholls at the hairpin and takes him for P4. So an amazing start there from Isaac Morris. We saw that at Bahrain from him as well. Both races, so very good there. He will now be looking to get redemption a bit for race 1, and probably eyeing up that win already as further back. Everyone now seems to be making their way through quite cleanly. Macho Sandak the only actual retirement for now, but we've got Dylan Platt missing the front wing at the back, but everyone else seems to be relatively okay. So interesting start there.
It's a more aggressive start compared to before, Josh, but I see a lot of guys have problems on the start, losing something in the car because they try to make very aggressive moves, but also very interesting is see Mike Bell P11 in front of Andre, because, Mike Bell likes to make a little train, so he will try to make the day from Darius Andre, the leader of the championship, the worst possible. And I know he can make that because he's one of the best defensive drivers I ever see in my life. And I can top that as experience. So, but very, very, very good set from Ben Williams also, but looks like Guzowski have a way more pace and he starts to attack, but his DRS just will be for the next lap, I think. So let's see what Ben Williams can do for now. And Morris, what a driver. He's still P4, making brilliant move. He's really quick, but he needs to be careful with his engine also. But maybe we not have a problem, but looks like Guzowski for the move.
Yep, Ben Willis there, he runs a little bit wide at the apex and kind of use that to keep the position. And Isaac Morris not quite able to get Walter de Bruyne on the brakes there. He'll probably be waiting for the DRS now and trying to use that. And for the engines, is actually I'm pretty sure there's more engine smoker now than there was in race 1. So clearly people not changing it, just trying to stick with it and hope that they can make it to the end. But Isaac does have Jack Nicholls right behind him and Scott Mitchell actually, so a good race start at the moment for the Kings Racing guys. Again, this is what they're good at, being consistently up there and together. And obviously Jack Nicholls, you've got to say, still has a chance here in this Drivers' Championship. He's down into P5, but still he will be looking to get any points he can as Isaac Morris goes for a move there at the final corner of Walter de Bruyne. not quite able to do it. So now he definitely will have to wait for that DRS straight. And I believe I heard a crash behind. Be interested to see who that is. Everyone is moving positions a lot. It's High Sonneveld is off at the final corner, and he is now out of the race. But looking there, Isaac Morris actually going around the outside there at turn 3 without De Bruyne. Needs to make sure he actually gets the DRS, and hopefully has not lost that. He does still have it. De Bruyne does as well, but Isaac Morris looks like he's got the position now, and will just be looking to defend it into the hairpin as Kozowski going again for the lead at the hairpin. Ben Willis sticks it down the inside still, and he holds on to it for another lap. As what's happened here? Isaac Morris has lost the position to Jack Nicholls actually. Jack Nicholls has made the move on De Bruyne and Morris to get himself onto the podium.
Yeah, he make a very, very big dive bomb and make the move, but look, Morris, he don't. Oh, Morris was too aggressive.
Oh, and that's taken out. Is that Dennehan? Dennehan's got involved with it as well. Obviously, P2 last race, Morris, Dennehan, and Scott Mitchell. Unfortunately, getting involved in an incident there. That is not what you want to see. Jack Nicholls obviously was involved at the start, but he had able to run away from it and keep his spot in P3. About De Bruyne as well, got quite lucky there.
Morris was too aggressive in a corner that is difficult to be aggressive, and a mistake by him, and not because of the incident if he was right or not, but more about the think that be too aggressive in this time of the race can cost a good result. And right now this makes Darius Andre be on front of him in the championship again, because Darius Andre basically will finish the 2 races in the front if nothing happens. But talking about him, he make a move against Bilal Memaz, and it's aggressive. It looks like the guy from Team Frelik is on the front, and his teammate is coming him to make something. So it's like a teamwork by Team Frelik to try to make Andre be behind. Oh, and Guyon have a problem with the Deltec as I see it. A lot of cars.
Just checking back. Oh, it looks like the Deltec actually spun out of turn 1, which included. Well, there were a lot of cars off even before that point. It looks like it was a Valence car there. Just lost it on the brakes into turn 1, and a lot of cars out because of it. Guillaume Mas, that is.
And was with Andre. He hit Andre on the corner, as I see on the screen, and then he lost control and go to the wall. It's like everything fine for him for now, but he's out of points again. But like for the French driver that was very high on the championship, probably he lost a lot of positions after this round. But for now, looks like a tough race for some drivers, especially for Morris that was make so many good starts and have a problem. But if I bet a guy that can read this race right now is Nichols from King's Race, and I think I can talk about King's Racing. The motto they have for this team is consistency. Maybe they will not be the quickest guys on the grid, but they will be on the top 10 all the time, and this is very positive thing from this team.
Exactly, and I've just noticed there actually Ben Willis made a mistake there at the final corner, which allowed Kozowski through, and he's kept it into turn 1 there. But he's pulled over. Did he give the position back? Maybe feeling it was a bit unfair. Either way, that's allowed Jack Nicholls up into P2, right on the back of Ben Willis here. So you just talk about King's Racing. Their motto is consistency, but Jack Nicholls here, I'm sure, will still be going for this win. He's in a brilliant position now. Obviously, already having the win from Australia Race 2. And speaking of people that have done well, Australia, actually, I'll just have a look at this battle first. Jack Nicholls looking up the inside of Ben Willis at the hairpin, gets through, and he keeps it all clean. And Tom Parker as well is now right behind them. As I was about to say, Tom Parker, he looked very good in Australia, and unfortunately has got a bit of bad luck there when he was really looking to go for the win, and maybe haven't had the best of rounds since then, but looking very good at the moment. But also, as to Mateusz Kozowski, I don't know if he's got an issue. He's dropped down already to P6, and now P7 as Darius Andre looks around the outside of him into that very, very tricky long corner there. But he does make it. He makes it stick. Runs a bit wide on the exit though, but at the moment does have that position. So Kozowski, from fighting to take the lead there at turn 1, has dropped down to P7. And Andrew Waring, actually, look at that. He started P18. and he's up into P3. An amazing start there from Andrew Waring. Got through on Tom Parker. Maybe he's now looking to get this win. He's going to get Ben Willis here, or going to look to get Ben Willis into turn 1, and then we'll set his sights on Jack Nicholls. Going to have to go around the outside and doesn't do that, so maybe just setting him up for the long straight. But an amazing start there for Andrew Waring. Exactly what him and Valet Esports would have won. As I noticed a couple of laps ago, Faber actually taken a trip on the grass in the middle sector, so he dropped down to P11, but still double points for Valet. Double point. Will it be P2 here with Andrew Waring looking to get Ben Willis with the DRS? Quite easy to put alongside, but don't necessarily have the top speed after that. Ben Willis does hold it on the inside. He's done quite good at that so far this race, and he keeps the position once again. So Ben Willis doing a great defensive job here when maybe he doesn't necessarily have the pace of these people that are kind of catching up to him. He's got a big old train ready down to P6, Darius Andre.
Yeah, he's... Oh my goodness, look at Andrew Waring makes the move now outside, and well, that was a magnificent move by Andrew Waring. And talking about quick guys, Delahan makes the fastest lap on the race right now, but he's very, very far behind. Probably he put new tires on the car because of a lot of damage he had. And oh, what happened with that Alpha Sierra was Ben Willis, and he lost a lot of position. He have an understeering on the corner, and looks like his tire is already dead for that happened.
Yeah, he actually he had a bit of a kick of oversteer at the left-hander, which obviously then sent him off at the right-hander. So yeah, he's dropped down to P8, patting him Fabian Ruth there on the exit of the final corner. Darius Andre, this is amazing for him, championship-wise. He's in P5, looking around the outside of Mike Quint maybe at turn 1. No, not able to do it there. As Mike Quint himself gets very close to Tom Parker there under the brake. And Ben Willis dropping down massively, down in P14, and he's lost his front wing. What's happened there? And Adrian Faber as well in the wall. Adrian Faber's out. So I don't know what has happened there.
And again,
Faber, yeah. Faber hit the back of Ben Willis at turn 1 there. Exactly what he did to Isaac Morris in race 1. Oh, and then that's a bad rejoin there from Faber. He clipped the Team Frelik car, which sent him into the wall and out of the race. So not a very good corner there for Adrian Faber.
Maybe it was an internet issue, Josh. I don't know, but
You never know.
But as I talked before, if Faber has a problem, is race 2, and again another DNF is again. I will talk again. Adrian Faber do not finish any race 2 in the championship right now. He has DNS in all the race 2s, and this is a big problem for him because he lost a lot of points. Maybe he have the pace to fight for the championship, but making these mistakes cost him a lot, and it's a pity because he's a very good driver. And talking about the battle for P1, this will be exciting because it's two good guys, Nichols and Worry, and Worry is very, very quick. I remember him from last year winning in the Canadian Grand Prix. And this Canadian boy, if he have something, is speed. He smells speed. And look how quick he are right now with the DRS against Nichols. It will be very difficult to Nichols make something against this guy right now.
Yeah, looking behind as well, Darius Andre actually is very close to the back of Tom Parker. Look to the outside at turn 1 there. Let's go get the switchback, but might be looking to just hold off here. But it's Darius Andre, of course, he does not hold off. He makes a move there into turn 3, but that might make him vulnerable down the straight. As look in the front, like say, Andrew Waring right on the back of Jack Nicholls. He'll be looking to take this win. Like I say, he's got lots and lots of speed about him. So he'll be looking to make this move on Jack Nicholls into the hairpin. And he does, he brakes very late. Jack Nicholls keeps it on the inside. Oh, and they make a bit of contact, but Andrew Waring keeps the place. He's made it through, and behind, yep, Tom Parker did make that move on Darius. So maybe Andre there a little bit too impatient. Probably should have waited for the DRS to help him down the straight there, but he's still got a lot of speed about him as well. So he'll be looking to make another move on the next lap. But you've got to say Andrew Waring there, taking that a lead off Jack Nicholls. So probably looking to just run away with it, and Jack Nicholls probably quite happy to at least get a podium here and keep his championship fight going quite well ahead of Andre, obviously, at the moment.
Yeah, and looks like Tom Parker has some clash with Mike Bell about blocking someone in the front. because we know that Andre is more quick. And look at the grip of Andre on the outside line against Parker. I think this time Andre will make the dive bomb or not. Oh my goodness, Parker blocks the way and still on front. Very, very nice defensive move by Tom Parker. So such an experienced driver like Tom Parker make that. But there is Andre. If I be Andre now, I need to be relaxed. Do not try so many aggressive moves. Try to overtake calmly because he has the control of the championship right now, because his rival Morris lost a lot of points because of the incident on the start of the race. So
yep, sorry, I don't know if that's an internet issue there for you, but Darius Andre here. Tom Parker had an issue at turn 1, hit the sausage curb, but Darius held back and did maybe what he should have done last lap. Waited for the DRS, he's going to get him under brakes, but they're still side by side. Tom Parker keeps the position. Andre not quite able to do a switchback. Looking behind as well, there's a lot of battling going on. I believe I heard a crash and Scott Mitchell is out for Kings Racing. We talk about their consistency. Unfortunately, he is now out of the race. And it looks like a lag issue for him. Unfortunately, he ended up inside of a Deltec car. I believe that Deltec has probably got a lot of damage on him if he was still in the race. No, I believe, unfortunately, Rodrigo may be gone for the moment. So we'll just have to carry on as we are. But like I say, this has been a race of high attrition. Only 22 people still running. Make that 21 as that Deltec. Bruno Sousa Ferreira is now retired from the race. So you've got Sousa Ferreira, Scott Mitchell, Faber, Branton, Morris, Van der Weide. So both Deltecs are out, unfortunately. Jeff Close and Hai Sonneveld, both of Valence as well. Matthew Sandak, all out of this race. But looking towards the front, we've got Darius Andre looking again on Tom Parker. He doesn't seem to have the straight line speed of Tom Parker. So he's going to have to look again. He's looking back. Is that Valter De Bruyne in the wall as well? I believe he just lost it on the exit of turn 1 there. He's lost his front wing. It's not good to see from him. But as we see, looking towards the front now, Tom Parker with a decent gap. He'll be looking to do the exact same thing as he did last lap. Darius Andre not quite close enough, and not really with the top end speed to be able to do anything. Tom Parker actually matching his speed pretty much down the straight, even with Andre in the DRS and slipstream. Slight lock up there for Tom Parker, but he is able to keep the position. And Rodrigo, did I just hear you joining back for the action?
Looks like Brazil have some issues with the internet, Josh, but luckily I'm here again. And as I see Parker, he locks so hard at the tires, the front tires in that high brake. He's trying everything to defend the position against Darius Andre, and it's incredible job from Parker. But with the way he's working out, he's a lot of pressure in his back because a lot of guys want this position that he have right now, and he needs to be careful, especially because Andre is very, very aggressive behind him and wants this position quickly. And as I talked before, if Andre needs to be careful because we have the oh my goodness, he tried that bomb against Tom Parker, but again not good enough. But Andre needs to be careful because try to make a aggressive move like Parker can cost him a lot of points in the championship, and he have the entire control of the championship right now because the guys that could be a problem for him is not making points like guys like Morris and also his teammate Jake Denham.
Yeah, as you see there, Andre did make that move and made the switchback at turn 1, but he gets a hit there from Kozowski behind in the front dog, who actually himself has done an amazing job to get back up into this battle. So Darius Andre has actually lost massively to Tom Parker there, and now it's Mike Quint in P5 looking to make the move on Andre. Had a great race 1. Now they're 3 wide down the straight, with Kozowski speeding through the middle, 3 wide still into the hairpin. Are they all going to make it? They are. Mike Quint makes the position. Kozowski makes the position on Darius. Darius has lost 2 there. And now with Fabian Roof as well, looking around the outside of him, not quite able to do that. The extra bit of track he was on there, running out before the turning point for the corner. So Tom Parker here, his setup just seems to be perfect for defending from this train. Normally it's his small-powered teammate, Mike Bell, you'd expect to create a train like this. But Tom Parker clearly showing that he can do this as well.
When Mike Bell knows that Tom Parker make that, he'll be very proud. I know that. Because Mike Bell is very good making that, and it looks like Tom Parker learned some things racing for Mike Bell's team right now, have him as a teammate. And good job from both, by the way. We talk a bit of joke, but talking serious right now, good job by both. Tom Parker make a P3 and Mike Bell a P9 after a bad quality by both. But looks like they focus more on the race, because Mike Bell make a very, very good job finish on a P9 for the moment, and also Tom Parker with the podium right now. And also...
Oh, there's a crash in turn 1 there, sorry. Fabian Roof round. I believe he was trying to make a move on Darius Andre. I'll have to see what happened. Yeah, he was trying to make a move, and Andre, you could argue, he just sort of turned in on him. Fabian Roof lost all the time there. Andre's still in P6, but I believe he'll be out of the DRS now, and Kozowski in front. So now he'll have to be defended from Tom van der Voort. Meanwhile, up at the front, Mike Quint looking around the outside. Tom Parker at the hairpin there. He's got him at the moment. Tom Parker still there on the inside, and yep, Tom Parker again, another great defensive move there. It's quite a difficult corner in general to make a move, and we're seeing that now because it tightens up a lot on the apex, or just after the apex, sorry. So Tom Parker for the moment still doing a great job to keep that P3, keep that podium.
Yeah, and also a very good comeback by Guilherme Mas after the situation he have. A P10 right now, he's a good boy. He had some bad luck with the quali, and but he is a very good on the race. We can see now a P10 making some points is good for the team. That is, the team Frelik is a team that have a mentality like Kings. Maybe his drivers will not win races, but they are always making good points, and this can help them to go to another championship next year. And also Tom Parker. Sometimes, as I talk, the race is not just about speed; it's about intelligence. Tom Parker knows that he's not the quickest guy, but he knows what he needs to do it to defend his position against the guys on the back. As you can see on the straight, Quint have the DRS, have the slipstream, can make the move, but Tom Parker prefers to go to the inside line and make Quint needs to deal with the AstroTurf on the outside that is very difficult and can make the car oversteer and even lose the rear of the car. And looks like again this will happen. Looks like Tom Parker again will put the car inside, yes. And Quint will try, but no, Tom Parker blocks the entire inside line. Just to Quint make everything again. Go to outside, but looks like can Parker defend again like this time? Oh, Quint make that move. What a move by Mike Quint. That time he made the apex correctly. He forced Tom Parker to change the apex to he have more space to make the move. That was genius by Mike Quint.
It really was. It's amazing to see. As further back there, you've got a battle between Luke Mitchell and Stefan Schreider. I noticed as well, you had a battle at hairpin between Mike Bell and Kevin Morville. Worth saying as well, actually, so Kevin Morville, obviously, got Sim Racing Guy's first points last round out in China, and now is himself in P11, so looking to get even more points to him, so it's a good round, or good race at least so far for him. Maybe capitalising on quite a few retirements as they go 3 wide there at the penultimate corner. Darius Andre has made the move on Kozowski there, who's also lost the position to Fabian Roof. But now we're in the same position we were a few laps ago, as Kozowski there actually is able to defend Fabian Roof. So they'll be side by side into turn 1. See, Kozowski has the straight line speed at the moment, and he tries to chop him off to not allow Fabian to go for a move. He doesn't. But as I was about to say, we're in the same position we were a few laps ago. Darius Andre behind Tom Parker is going to have to be very creative to make a move here. We saw that Tom Parker has very good straight line speed compared to Darius, even with the slipstream and DRS. So we'll have to see if Darius can make a move this time. He does seem a lot closer and is closing in a lot on Tom Parker. But as soon as he pulls out that slipstream, look, he's even going slower than Tom. So Tom Parker, yeah, doing exactly what he needs to do, parking it on the apex there, not allowing Darius to make the move. They're just about alongside, going into the next corner. No, they're not. And Tom Parker, oh, he gets a hit there from Darius Andre, who goes off track, and that allows Kozowski to have a look at the chicane and somehow keep it clean through there. Oh, a bit more contact. Oh, Darius is round. He kept his nose in there maybe a little bit longer than he should have. He's lost a lot of positions now. as Tom van der Voort and Fabian Ruth has made it through, but luckily he had a big gap back to Mike Bell and P9. So P8 at the moment for Darius, getting very aggressive to try and make these positions up, clearly thinking about the championship, but it's just not quite working for him. As meanwhile at the front, we should probably mention, Jack Nichols must have been loving all of this battling of the guys behind, as he's been able to just keep it in P2. He's dropped 9 seconds back now to Andrew Waring and going to the final lap. So looking good for Waring, but Jack Nichols, like I say, has been probably very happy with all of this. Mike Quint got allowed through. He's been closing up on Jack Nichols the last few laps by quite a bit, but I think the gap might be a little bit too much there. As Tom Parker, for one final lap, looks like he's going to have to be defending here from Kozlowski and Fabian Ruth. He's done a great job so far, only dropped down to P4, so I'm sure he'll be happy no matter what. But at the same time, he'll be looking to keep this, as actually it's more likely that Fabian Ruth here is going to be looking for a move around the outside of Kozlowski at the hairpin. They both have DRS, so they're quite even in terms of straight line speed. Ruth relatively late on the brakes, but is looking for the switchback here on Kozlowski and not quite able to do it. So it looks like they might just keep all their positions as they are. Let's look behind. Got Mass and Bell having a battle here for P9. Mass looks to the inside, but no, he's not going to be close enough to make a move there into the next corner. As again, it looks like they will be looking to stay where they are, as Tom Parker has a penalty. I guess he must have run a bit wide there. He's it's the final lap, he's not going to be able to serve this as a drive-through. He's run wide again and loses position to Kozlowski. So he's lost it all a bit here on the final lap for Tom Parker. He's going to get a big penalty here, time-wise, for not serving a penalty, a drive-through penalty for the track limits. As you saw as well, Mike Quint was looking at Jack Nichols, but a bit hectic at the end there. Andrew Waring takes the win in race 2 there. Jack Nichols does just about, does he hold on to P2 from Mike Quint? Yes, he does. Jack Nichols P2, Quint P3, Kozlowski P4. Tom Parker does go for the drive-through. Don't know if that'll work, being the final lap, but Fabian Ruth anyway, P5, Tom van der Voort P6, Darius Andre comes across P7, Kevin Morville P8, amazing stuff there at the end. I think a lot happened on that final lap. We missed too much to commentate on, but Mike Bell P9, Stefan Schreider P10, Gummin Mass P11, Bowley P12, and Tom Parker, I think that did work, him taking the drive through there on the final lap, but he gets P13, and Luke Mitchell as well, who I believe also got a drive-through penalty in the final lap, takes P14, as Dylan Platt here going to take final points position, P15. Yeah, I know, Rodrigo, you've had a few more internet issues there, but a very, very hectic final lap there. Difficult to keep up exactly what happened.
Yeah, sorry for the issues I have. Looks like Brazil give me a raining internet, but as I talked before, when we start the streaming, that probably Valley Sports can have his first win this year in GPVWC with Andrew Waring, and that happened. Not in the way I think was to happen, but he made it. He made his magic, and he wins the race. How he be able to overtake all that cars in front of him and making this result, I don't know how was. I was it to watch the entire race again, but what a race by Andrew Waring, the Canadian guy. Probably Rebo is very proud right now for this result that happened, and Nichols making very, very good points in the P2. And also, as I talk about Andre, when he made that move against Kozlowski to overtake before the bad thing happened, I was to talk. If I was Carter McCollum, I was to have a heart attack with my driver try this move in these circumstances. Of course, he did it, happened, no problem, but the aggressive of Andre cost him some points, and I think he have the championship on his hands, but he needs to calm down sometimes. Sometimes he's too aggressive, and this can cost him the points in the championship. But he make a very good job today. A win, a points on the race 2, and it'll be very interesting for Baku how these guys can handle this situation, because like India, Baku will be very, very tough race, especially on the sector 2, because have a lot of corners that can be a problem for these guys.
Exactly, I'd have to agree there with Darius Andre. Like I said, was quite aggressive, but He still gets points, at least for the moment. We'll have to see, obviously, with the DEC whether any penalties get handed out after that. But either way, he has taken a lot of points over his championship rivals this race. See, Isaac Morris and Adrian Faber, unfortunately, DNFing from the race, with a lot of incidents happen there. A lot more, obviously, than race one. Scott Mitchell also retiring. Jake Dennehan, Darius's teammate, down in P20, so no points for him. Does take the fastest lap, which normally would score a point, but you have to be in the points to get that fastest lap point. So he sort of just ruined all the fun for everyone there in terms of that. But yeah, you've got to say, amazing stuff from Andrew Waring, P18 to P1 in race 2 there. As speaking of Andrew Waring, it looks like he has joined us for an interview. So Andrew, so you've only done a few one-off races in the last couple of years, but that was amazing stuff today from you in race 2. Can you talk about what happened there?
Oh, race 2 is great. It started 18th. So honestly, the setup felt like I was in a different car than anybody else. It should have been race 1 as well. Tom Ely helped me. Well, he pretty much made the setup for me. And as soon as I got in front, I knew I'd be able to pull away, and I didn't expect to do it by 10 seconds. It should have been race 1 as well, but unfortunately I had some pass to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. Good to see you point out Tom Ely there. I know he was a bit annoyed that Isaac Morris, after his win in China.
As far as I'm concerned, we should all be at the bottom of like a statue of him for these setups he does.
Yeah, I've seen him do a lot of good stuff in these cars, but got to be happy with that. Are you going to be looking to do any more races, or is this another one-off type thing, one a year for you, is it, at the moment? Or
yeah, I'm currently working from home. The pandemic, obviously, so being EST time-based, it's a little difficult, but I'm reserve driver for THR and Super Cup, and I think I'll get a couple of chances to race with them. I'm more than happy to try and get it. Somebody needs me. I'm just happy that I was able to get this team the win, and I know they deserve it. They put a lot of hard work in.
Yeah.
By the way, I have a question. Especially because you start from the back. I want to know, from your point of view, how bad and annoying it was to see that smoking come out of the other cars in front of you.
It's honestly pretty annoying to see. I noticed it was doing it in practice. You had to have the radiator blinking at 50 for it not to smoke, and to be honest, it's pretty shameful for some of the guys that were doing it, because even after this first race, Chris asked the whole field in a chat to not do it, and then as soon as you go down the straightaway, everybody's doing it. So I don't know what. Clearly, there was no advantage because I ran 50%. So
yeah, but by the way, Andre, very good job for you. A Mexico race 2, you did it. Probably Mr. Riboli, the team boss of Valley Sports, is very proud right now for seeing his team make his first win in the championship.
Yeah, well, I owed him one from last year. I royally screwed up a reserve drive for him last year at Spa. So I just, want to thank David Carter for crew chiefing for me, Tom Ely again, and GPVWC guys. Every time I come do these FC events, it's great and it's fun.
Yes.
That's great to hear. At the moment, looks like no one else is going to be interviewed, so thank you very much, Andrew. There.
Cheers, guys.
That's all right. Looking at the championship standings, then I have to give a shout out here to Tom Stevens. He's done a great job keeping the standings updated for the entire league at the moment. So great stuff. He's put in all the race 1 results. Unfortunately, race 2 probably a bit too much to ask for him to have that done already. So after race 1, Darius Andre did pull out a massive gap in the standings to Isaac Morrison. Race 2, he would do the same thing. So looking very good for Darius at the moment, even with potential penalties on the way. As that's everything for today. Looks like no one else is going to be joining us for an interview. So next time out, 2 weeks time. Like I said, it's Azerbaijan, Baku. But in the meantime, we've got Super Cup on Thursday, Super League Lights, and Super League next week. Goodbye from me. and it looks like maybe